So, National Review broke a big story this week about violent text from Attorney General candidate in VA, where I live, Jay Jones. President Trump has repeatedly used violent rhetoric in his time in politics. Maybe not as violent as what Jay text. Uh, Political violence is on the rise. We saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk just a few weeks ago. It really has been disheartening for a lot of us out there. Is this type of behavior the type of behavior citizens should expect from their leaders?
No, this type of behavior, it shouldn't be accepted from any leaders on any side. It's flat out wrong. But look, as somebody that jumped into this because of seeing how rhetoric changed our society, um, this is something that falls back to 2016 and this kind of buildup. And I'm not taking away from, you know, folks on the Democratic side that have said things that are they're bad like that. Completely wrong. We need to have people that are focused on issues and not ideology back in power, back representing people. We need folks that are focused on solving problems instead of pushing agendas that, quite frankly, on the fringes, nobody ends up wanting in the end. Um, you look at the immigration policy and the immigration rhetoric, and you're not getting anything done. Didn't get anything done at all.
Well,
Instead,
so
we have,
well,
I mean, it did no legislation, right? I'm going to say no legislation. So it didn't get anything lasting done.
so
Um,
hold on. Let me butt in here for a second. One of the big, and you were with principals first. One of the big things that Republicans kind of left the party for was the behavior of Donald Trump. And you know, one of my arguments are that I have made against other Republicans who have left the party is like you should kind of stick it out and hold your side accountable, right? Because if you don't hold your side accountable and you just leave and you go to the other side, then like where is the accountability? Who is going to hold them accountable? And I get the idea. I mean, the politics is multifaceted. There's an argument to be made that you just build a bigger group over here, but I don't hear Democrats coming out in droves, requesting that Jay Jones drop out of this race. But I know that a whole bunch of them did when Donald Trump had the Access Hollywood tape, right? There was a whole bunch, and even Republicans came out and asked Donald Trump to drop out. And I would argue that what Jay Jones said here is worse than what Donald Trump said in that Access Hollywood tape. Let me just read you some of these texts. If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals and piss on their graves. Send them out awash in something. Then he goes on. He says, 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and a pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. He goes on talking about this is Todd Gilbert. I mean, he's pushed back on the person he's texting with here. And he says, I mean, do I think that Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. Now, I wrote a piece in Vital Center a couple weeks ago talking about how J.D. Vance hosting the Charlie Kirk show missed an opportunity to lead and mend some of our broken political divide because he continued to perpetuate the permission structures that encourage political violence. This is that permission structure that encourages political violence. This is the type of stuff that when leaders say people get hurt, you can go back to James Garfield, William McKinley, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy. Like this type of rhetoric is dangerous. And I don't understand why Abigail Spanberger isn't calling for this guy to leave the ticket. I don't understand why anybody from the Democratic Party isn't trying to hold this guy accountable. If you went after Donald Trump for Access Hollywood, why are you not going after Jay Jones for this type of nonsense?
Completely wrong. It's wrong of anybody that's running for elected office or in elected office to be talking that way. Um, it's wrong. And like I said, it goes back to this system that we've put ourselves in, where we're obsessed with this ideology. It's either this way or the other way. And it's not. There's no ability to reconcile or whatever. Um, to where folks won't even eat with each other at dinner or at holidays anymore. This didn't happen before, right? And so, my goal is to serve the middle, to stay out of the culture war, to stay out of this whole, to me, two ends of authoritarianism, right? Where folks want to impose their will on the majority by using the government. I'm against authoritarianism. I'm against using strong ideology like that um, to drive your political position. The government should be serving people. The government should be helping people. The government should not be taking away from people. The government should not be playing social experiment with our population whenever we have serious issues. We're so far behind our enemies like China. Like you look at shipbuilding, and there's an argument for we're moving away from certain things, but still, 5,000 ships, I think China's building for military a year. We're building like 3 to 5. Why? Because we're focused on the wrong things. And people are getting tired of it. People are waking up. People are coming to realize, man, we were promised all this stuff like lower grocery prices and, healthcare at one point. And, all these folks promise all these things to us. Now they're, talking about all this culture war stuff. They're pitting at each other. They're pitting us at each other's throats instead of trying to solve problems. So I want to change things by being focused on solving problems, the problems that affect the vast majority of people here in Alabama and people across America, like the affordability crisis. What can we do? How can we help in a way that's not taking from people, that's not, uh, you know, uh, overreach? How can we help foster the economy of the future to where we can get to the point to where healthcare is cheaper, to where we can get and more affordable, or to the point where everyone can afford it. So how do we get to that point to where, you know, our economy is strong enough to support our population? Because right now we are waning, we are contracting, we're losing our alliances. We're losing our partners, and purchasing power of the folks here in America is being reduced. That is huge. That is huge. That's what we
So
need to be focused on. We don't need to be focused on culture war stuff or ideology. We need to be focused on serving the people of America. We need to put all this fringe far left stuff down, all this fringe far right stuff down, and for at least a couple election cycles, let's work on making people's lives better.
so I I get what you're saying. So how are we going to get there if the people that are on the tickets are focused on the other side dying?
Well, for one, I'm not. And so, for one, we have to get people focused um, on our race here in Alabama and maybe a couple other races as well, where we're not running a platform of ideology. We're not running this just basic, common platform that you're seeing all across US on either side. We need to get specific to our states. We need to be able to, like in my case, folks need to be looking at this and saying, you know what, I can do that too in my state. I can step up and I can try to represent the middle in my state. I can try to represent the common sense folks that are just so exhausted and terrified, really terrified of what's going on right now. The people that don't want to be involved, you're going to start to see get involved. So I believe this is the beginning of that. I think that you're going to see more regular people that didn't want to have anything to do with politics. Didn't wake up and say, "Oh, I want to be a senator." That were, man, my community, my state, my country. I'm afraid for our future if we don't turn things around. I think you're going to see a lot more people step up and start to message, right? Which is serving the middle, serving the majority of people here in our country. Um,
I
it's
think
it it's happening, and it's going to continue to happen.
I think the majority of people are outraged by these texts. I think the majority of people don't think that this guy should be running for office, and I think they're looking for leaders to step up and call him out. And,
Absolutely,
you
it's wrong. They shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't be saying anything like that. It's not.
so should he drop out?
Oh, if he said those things and he's wishing death on political opponents, yeah,